long before the kingdom of Boletaria rose from the mountains of the north, before its banners flew proudly above stone walls and its knights became legends throughout the world, there existed an age that history could barely remember. The oldest records spoke only in fragments, describing a time when mankind stood upon the edge of extinction and the world itself seemed ready to disappear beneath an endless sea of fog. Deep beneath the earth slumbered an ancient being known only as the Old One. No one knew where it had come from. Some believed it had existed since the birth of the world itself, while others claimed it had emerged from a place beyond human understanding. Whatever the truth may have been, one fact remained undeniable. Whenever the Old One stirred from its sleep, disaster followed. As the creature awakened, a strange, colorless fog spread across the land. It swallowed entire kingdoms without warning, creeping over mountains, forests, and cities alike, until nothing remained visible beyond its pale veil. Within this fog walked demons, terrible beings drawn to the souls of the living. They fed upon humanity, harvesting souls and carrying them back to their ancient master. Villages vanished overnight. Great cities collapsed into silence. Entire civilizations disappeared so completely that even their names were eventually forgotten. As fear spread across the world, mankind descended into chaos. Kings abandoned their people in desperate attempts to preserve their own lives. Neighbor turned against neighbor. Armies that should have defended the innocent instead fought among themselves over dwindling resources. Everywhere the fog reached, despair followed close behind. Humanity was not simply losing a war against the demons. It was losing itself. Yet amid the darkness, a small group of individuals emerged who would later become known as the Monumentals. Unlike the rulers and warriors who sought victory through force, these men and women searched for understanding. Through knowledge long since lost to history, they uncovered a terrible truth. The Old One could not be destroyed. It was not a creature that could be slain by sword or spell. Its existence was woven into the very fabric of the world itself. Realizing that victory through violence was impossible, the Monumentals chose another path. Through an act of sacrifice so great that the details have vanished from history, they succeeded in lulling the Old One back into a deep sleep. Slowly, the colorless fog began to retreat. The demons disappeared. For the first time in generations, humanity was able to look toward the future without fear. Before withdrawing from the world, the Monumentals left behind a warning. They had discovered that the Old One was closely tied to the power of souls themselves. Through a forbidden practice known as soul arts, humans could draw strength directly from souls, performing miracles, wielding powerful magic, and achieving feats far beyond mortal limits. Yet every use of this power carried a terrible risk. The greater mankind's reliance upon souls became, the closer the Old One would drift toward awakening once more. For centuries, this warning was respected. The knowledge of soul arts was hidden away, and humanity slowly rebuilt. New kingdoms emerged where ruins once stood. Trade routes connected distant lands. Great cathedrals were raised toward the heavens, and powerful rulers carved their names into history. As generation followed generation, the ancient catastrophe faded into myth. The stories of the Old One became little more than legends told by old men and dismissed by the young. Among the kingdoms that flourished during this age of prosperity, none appeared more glorious than Boletaria. Surrounded by towering mountains and protected by formidable walls, it became a symbol of strength, wealth, and stability. Merchants traveled from distant lands to trade within its cities. Knights trained their entire lives in pursuit of the kingdom's ideals. To many, Boletaria seemed destined to endure forever. At the center of this golden age stood King Allant. Unlike many rulers, Allant was neither cruel nor foolish. Those who served him regarded him as wise, intelligent, and deeply committed to the future of his kingdom. Under his rule, Boletaria prospered. Its influence expanded beyond its borders, and its people enjoyed a peace that many believed would never end. Yet for all his accomplishments, the king remained unsatisfied. Allant possessed a restless mind. He looked upon the world and saw questions that no scholar could answer. Why did suffering exist? Why did civilizations inevitably rise and fall? Why did humanity seem doomed to repeat the same mistakes throughout every age? While others celebrated their achievements, Allant searched for truths hidden beneath the surface of reality itself. His pursuit of knowledge eventually led him toward ancient secrets that had remained buried since the age of the Monumentals. There, within forgotten texts and long-abandoned ruins, he uncovered references to soul arts and the being that had once threatened the world. The deeper he ventured into these mysteries, the more obsessed he became. What began as curiosity slowly transformed into something darker. No one knows precisely what King Allant discovered during his studies. Some believe he learned truths that shattered his faith in humanity. Others claim he glimpsed the true nature of existence and found it unbearable. Whatever the case, those closest to him soon noticed a change. The king who had once inspired hope became increasingly withdrawn. His confidence gave way to cynicism. His wisdom hardened into despair. Eventually, Allant reached a conclusion that would seal the fate of his kingdom. He came to believe that humanity itself was trapped within an endless cycle of suffering. Every age repeated the same pattern. Kingdoms rose, flourished, and collapsed. Wars followed peace as surely as night followed day. Greed, cruelty, and ambition endlessly consumed the achievements of previous generations. To Allant, the world appeared hopelessly broken. And so, believing he had discovered a solution where others had failed, King Allant turned to the forbidden power of souls. In doing so, he awakened the Old One once more. The colorless fog returned, and with it came the end of Boletaria.